And welcome back to Flyers Pulse. I'm Haley Taylor Simon, giving you the behind the scenes look of what it's like to cover the Philadelphia Flyers as a credentialed media member. Last night, I was at the Flyers Charities Casino Night representing Hockey Hot Stove and, of course, Bill Meltzer. And this is an event I've always wanted to go to. I talk time and time again about how much I love the carnival. I do. That is my favorite event, hands down, mainly because I'm in the dunk tank and I actually find that to be fun. But I love the charity events that the Philadelphia Flyers put on. I went to the 5K, the Greedy 5K, and I saw so many great fans with awesome costumes. And last night was my first ever casino night, and it was a blast. And I'm going to tell you why. Any event, in my opinion, where you have to dress up a little bit nice, I am so down for. I love that. I love that everyone was so festive and dressed up. I also appreciated how many casino games there were. Now, I know it was a casino night, but there was about 6 blackjack tables all next to each other. And I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm in Vegas. One of my favorite memories actually was the 2024 NHL draft. It was in Vegas and I had the best time. I love Vegas. And then this year, the Flyers had their draft headquarters at the Hard Rock Casino in Atlantic City. So again, I feel like when it comes to casinos and hockey, it's like this really weird correlation, but hey, I'm all about it. A big question that I got asked, because I wrote down some of the questions that people wanted to know. What was my favorite item that they were auctioning away? And I would have to say it was the Bryce Harper Phanatic worn headband. You know that Phanatic headband that Bryce wears? Well, they had that in a frame. It was so cool. I didn't win anything, and that's okay. I'm happy I was able to see it. But in my opinion, that was the coolest item. Now, what I will say, I have some honorable mentions. Quinyon Mitchell signed jersey, a Cooper DeJean signed jersey. We also had, and I know a lot of people don't like him because he's a Penguin, but I do find it very cool when there are, sweaters of your rivals because it shows that they truly do care about the greater good, and that is, yes, to charity. So there was a Sidney Crosby signed sweater. So if you were a Penguins fan and you're at the event last night, hey, you would have gotten a really cool piece of memorabilia from Crosby. But there was also tons of Flyers gear, game worn jerseys, helmets, and so much more. So it was truly a blast. While I did not play any games with any of the Flyers players, I was lucky enough to play blackjack alongside the very talented and great Lauren Hart, who sings the national anthems and has, in my opinion, the best voice. I was also able to observe a couple of things because a lot of people wanted to know, Hale, who was the most animated? I would have to say between Trevor Zegras and Dan Vladar. And the only reason why I say this, it's very simple. I told you there's about like 6 blackjack tables. I don't know how to play the other games. They had poker. I did not know how to play that. So I sucked at blackjack. And Zegras was at the table next to my table. And I'm telling you, I think I heard Zegras scream so much in a span of like 20 minutes, being like, yeah, woo, and all happy and excited. And I think that just truly goes to show how much the players really wanted to be there. There was tons of smiles in the room. I saw Coatsy. Love seeing Coatsy. He always lights up the room, one of my favorite people. But it was just such a fun event. I was able to talk to some Flyers fans, and they were having a blast and just said how much fun this is and how unique of an experience this is. And I also want to give a big shout out to all of the people working last night, especially the photo booth, because that to me was so cool to see that photo booth. I love photo booths, and just like an in person photo booth always blows my mind. The food was delicious. I had steak. I was a little bit upset because there were oysters and I didn't get there in time to get the oysters, but it looked so good. All of the food that I saw outside, though, this was what I thought was pretty gnarly, right? I'm using gnarly because it was. Tito's, the vodka company, they had this wall of Tito's, but like it was empty bottles. It was so cool, like this whole display, and there was heat lamps, but it was still cold. But I went outside to see because I wanted to explore. There was also fabulous music put on by DJ Hollywood, who was the MC at all the Philadelphia Flyers games, and he did such a great job getting the mood right and playing some really good music. I have to tell you, that song "Let's Groove Tonight" by Earth, Wind, and Fire is one of my favorite songs. And he did this remix to it. I don't know what the remix is, but you need to ask him about it because the music was phenomenal. Every single person last night did something for the greater good of the community. And that is the charities from Flyers Charities. And one of my favorite things to cover, being a media member, believe it or not, is the charities. And you might ask me why. And while I do love covering game to game, I think at the end of the day, there's such a greater good than just the game of hockey. There's a greater good of giving that game of hockey to the community. And I feel like Flyers Charities does such a good job doing that with the Ed Snyder Youth Foundation. They also do a lot of stuff for the SPCA to help out all those little dogs and cats and the cute little animals. They also help out those who are battling cancer. And I have to say, you see it at the game with Half's Heroes, and you see so much of what the team does at the games, but there's so much behind the scenes that we don't always get to see. And so many people in the Flyers Charities organization, they truly do a lot to better the community. And what I mean by it's more than just hockey, right? It's that being a media member, I have a responsibility to, write my articles, meet my deadlines, and do my job to my best ability. But when I do these other types of projects like the charity events, it is because I am truly so passionate about it. And it's not like this is a job to me, this is a passion to me. I want the community of Philadelphia, South Jersey, and beyond to feel like they have support. And that's what makes the Flyers organization very special. It's that they really, truly do support the community. And last night, it was a fun night of games. Okay. I was having a blast. However, knowing that there's going to be some really good from last night, that makes me even more happy. I cannot wait for the carnival. That is going to be, I believe, February 1st. And yes, I said I would do the dunk tank again. I know. I said I may not. Listen, it's year 3. I have to do the dunk tank. And that event, it's the best family fun event, my favorite event. I'm very passionate about that event. But last night was truly such an incredible experience. And if you want to see more pictures of the event, make sure to go to the Flyers Charities Twitter account because they've been posting a lot of things. While I said I did not speak to any of the players and I spoke to some fans and some other people at the organization, uh, everybody that I saw looked so happy and everyone had a big smile on their face. And again, I want to thank Hockey Hot Stove and Bill Meltzer for letting me be a part of this event. And I hope that this kind of gives you a little bit of an insight as to why it is so cool to go to these charity events that the Flyers put on, because you not only make some really good memories. I brought my best friend with me, but you also get to help out the community. And I feel like both of those things are so special. So I will talk to you next time. Like always, this is Flyers Pulse with HTS only on Hockey Hot Stove.